Craft Skateboards for Life Skateboards, and you're watching Days with Casper. Let me straighten this out. I'm going to share this on another platform real quickly. My phone on Do Not Disturb. And we are good to go. It's been a little bit since I did a live. The last live was, I think, last Sunday. Besides the one over at Bam Margera's house. We had the opportunity to go hang out in Pennsylvania. It was really awesome. Very grateful for the experience, and definitely not the last trip out there. Talking to Bam about sobriety was really powerful. There will be a full video of that coming very soon. What's up, Dancing God? You just got back from Miami? Awesome. I got in yesterday at 5 a.m. from Pennsylvania and went straight to a skate contest in Columbus, Indiana. So it was a really awesome experience. I've got the video mostly edited and my phone entirely full of videos. I will say that the full video is going to be the most unstructured video I've ever done. I didn't really want to be invasive in Bam's house. I also didn't really want to pull away from what we were all doing there at Bam Margera, with Bam Margera. But it was really cool hanging out with him, Danny, Ray, Head, and everybody else. Real quick before I get into working today, let me show you my favorite thing from the trip. So, I'm not very superstitious, but I paint my shoes when I first skate, and there was one time I didn't, and it broke my leg. So I always do that. I happened to have these with me that I had painted ahead of time. These were the original gray Crockett's. So Bam saw these. I asked Bam to do this so I could destroy his signatures on the side of them. I think that'll be fun. But anyway, let's get into work here. So I'm just going to be loading up the monster press today. We got a veneer order coming in tomorrow. So we're just going to empty this out, load it up. We're going to have a drill press coming here. I've got to help Sam unload it. When I do that, hopefully you guys can just have conversations while you look at the Life website. But let's get going here. It's been a minute. I'll lower this jack. And this one. So here at Life Skateboards, we handcraft all of our boards. We press the boards ourselves. We shape them ourselves. We apply the graphics ourselves. If you're not familiar with that, now you are. You can go to lifeskateboard.com and get one of your own. Alright. So this is our new monster press. It's 15 inches wide. It's insane. It's fun. We've got some videos of Bam having fun with some loose trucks because that man rides really, really tight. But we got 7 plies and 6 plies in here because we try to steer people towards the 6 ply for these really big boards. They're pretty heavy. But I did just skate a competition yesterday with the XXXL panhead. It was really fun. So let me get the chisel to split these. And then we label what date we put them in there so that we are sure that they've cured for 7 days. And put them in a stack of their own concave, and we're ready to get the next one. If you have any questions about board making, the process, the trip, skateboarding, or sobriety, feel free to ask, and that's what I'm here for. Whew. All right. So I went ahead and pulled the layups already for today's pressings, and we're just going to get to gluing them. If you guys enjoy this, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Share it with your friends. I know after not doing a live for quite a while there, I'm sure it's not going to do as well as the other ones, but we'll get back to it. Alright, so we use a 6 ply and a 7 ply when we're doing this. We're going to start off with the 7 ply here. Ooh, I need to rip this glue off the table. Alright. Really quickly here, I'll be right back. I've got to cut a new face here. There is a split on this face. just in the other room. Alright, and we're back. Whew. There's a fresh face right there. Sorry they didn't, the guy didn't. I had to go in the other room and cut a new face because there was a split on that one. So if you're new to this, I'm just going to be making skateboards here for Life Skateboards. Just got back yesterday morning from Bam Margera's house, so if you guys have any questions about that before the full video comes out, please let me know, and we'll talk about it. We got to get a new roller here, and then we'll get to it. What's happening? I'm going to be making handcrafted skateboards, and you can get one of your own at lifeskateboard.com. It was very fun, great experience, especially talking to him about sobriety. Didn't take it around Philadelphia by head. It was a great time. Lots of things that would have ruined other trips for me happened, like I had to change the tire on it. I had to change a tire on the turnpike, which was a fun experience. I ended up losing my keys doing something really dumb while we were out there, and my battery died while we were out there, but absolutely nothing to make that trip not fun. You mean my nose ring, buddy? It's my nose ring. It's gonna be okay. You made me think about it though. Remember, I'm an addict in recovery. Checking for bats in the cave is part of my routine. You did make me look, but like I said, you're just addicts in recovery. You know what we do. Boom. All right, let's get to it. Grab some more glue and get to it. Thank you, Ted. I'm 6 years, or actually no, we did the math while we were at Bam's. I am 7 years sober from alcohol, and I think 4 from everything else. I quit everything else when I started here at Life Skateboards. Alcohol was my main vice. It made me say yes to everything else, and for a while I believed I could responsibly use poison, but that's not true for me, that's for sure. That's a super strange thing to say. So, yeah. Yeah, I'm not really sure what everyone's addicted to something means. I'm sorry about that. So when I talk about addiction and recovery, the goal is to be able to help people. There we are with that. So Destry says skateboarding is a great thing to be addicted to, and I think we're going to have a great discussion about what addiction actually means. Skateboarding is not an addiction. Skateboarding is a cool thing that takes all of your focus away from everything else going on. You just have to focus on the thing under your feet. Addiction generally, addiction's when your body creates a situation where you have a chemical dependency or sometimes a psychological dependency on a thing. Having a physical activity that fills the boredom that drugs and alcohol used to fill is not an addiction, because addiction is a negative thing. But even Bam talks about how his recovery is heavily dependent on the fact that he can go and skate whenever he wants to. Yes, absolutely, Ted. That's a great way to put it. Maybe it was bad sheets. Maybe it was bad curing and pressing times. It really depends on what you were doing there, Seco. Thank you, Jesse. I appreciate you. Ooh. But yeah, Ted, it is a very good thing. I actually have a... when I went there, I let Bam know that I'd like to interview him about sobriety. And when he sat down in front of the camera, he centered himself on camera, and I just thought, you know what? I don't want to ask you questions, I just want you to talk. And Bam went on for 5 minutes about his experience with recovery, the things that worked, the reason it's sticking, and why it didn't stick before because he didn't want to. So I'm really excited to get that video out there. I did send it to his publicist, so I will say I don't know how copyright works on that sort of thing. If they end up using it for something bigger, I'll probably end up taking the video down so that they have the rights to it. Because at the end of the day, I was just hoping to have his story help as many people as I could. Yeah, it was a really fun week. That's another super strange thing to say. It was really cool skating with Bam, Brian, because it was like just skating with the homies. I mean, that's what was cool about it. I mean, bouncing tricks off each other, him wanting to do doubles with Luke. There was a point, and I've got a clip of it, where Luke landed. He pivoted into a 5-0 from fakie down this little escalator and shot out. And then Bam just straight up rolled down the hip, snaking him, and they almost ran. It was funny. It's cool too, because when he eats shit, he has the biggest smile on his face, and I love it. Just seeing the joy that skateboarding and clarity brings people, especially when, I mean, he was told in 2013 he might not be able to skate again, which is awesome that he's skating again. He talks about it a lot, about how his legs were dehydrated. And he snapped his hamstring just reaching down for his toes in 2013, and now he's back on a board. So it's just really inspiring and shows that how powerful recovery is. But it was really, really cool. And it was really cool hanging out with him and running errands and all that fun stuff. There was one morning, there was a coffee shop in Westchester that has really, really good coffee. It took us to the first day. And him and Head got banana foam coffees. So the next morning I was woke up by Bam poking his head in my window in my bedroom to yell banana foam to wake us up, which was awesome. So Des treated... Yep, that would be correct. The muscles in his legs have the consistency of dry rotted rubber bands. When he reached down for his hamstrings, his hamstring snapped and he was out for a year. And that part of recovery, that part of his recovery and being able to skate again is very powerful to me. Because I know a lot of people that just think that they're hopeless. And his story is really, truly an inspiring one. Because not only did he change his life for the better by removing the poison, but removing the poison made it so he could do more than he was ever told he could do again. I love that. The one and only Nicole, you seem to be enjoying watching my videos while making strange comments, which is fine. That's fine by me too. But it's gonna be okay. I hope nothing bad ever happens to you, because it seems that people would probably treat you the same way you like to treat other people. Oh. But anyway, let's just talk about what I'm doing here. So I'm rolling the glue by hand on these boards. The reason we glue the boards by hand here, absolutely. The reason we roll the boards by hand here is because a glue machine would miss the crossbands. They get tied up in the machine. Or they miss the faces because they get both sides of the veneer. And we want to give you full glue coverage on every side of every ply inside your skateboard. So we do this. And that's why we're able to guarantee against DWAM on our boards, which I love. All right, so hi there, Nicole. I'd just like to let you know that I hope that you have a wonderful day. I understand that your encouragement for me to do drugs is very strange, and I hope that that just comes from a projection of something happening in your life. I hope whatever you're dealing with gets better, and I hope that you learn better coping mechanisms than to try to say things like that. I'm very confident in my recovery, and I'm very far in my recovery, so little strange insults like that won't really bring me back to it. But I'm going to keep addressing you because maybe you're going to do this to someone who's not as strong in their recovery. And you'd probably be ruining their lives. That's a pretty sad existence, isn't it? Just to exist to ruin other people's lives. But it is what it is. Oh, I'm doing what I love. And maybe one day, if you choose to bring joy into people's lives instead of continuing to push negativity into it, you too can be truly happy. They are living a very sad life. And I could just kick them from all of this, but I'm going to let them enjoy all these other people enjoying their lives. You know what? If you're watching right now, why don't you share something good and happy that happened to you recently in the chat? Let's offset this really dumb negativity with something positive. I think that would be cool. But let's see here. Dude is... Yep, that's true right there. Hey, you have a blessed day too. Oh, yeah, it is really exciting to see the joy in people's eyes, especially Bam's when he lands something, or even when he doesn't. Like he was doing a blunt power slide across the volcano at his house, and he slipped out and landed right on his ass, and immediately was turned around smiling. It's great. I love it. Oh. Hey, Nicole, I'm just going to let you know right now, I'm just going to go ahead and put you in timeout, because that's what your mom and dad never did. But it's okay. Oh, hopefully you just go bother somebody else. That's fine by me. We're here to make skateboards and talk about cool things. I like that. Yeah, awesome. That's great. Thank you, Sean. I appreciate you. That's a very important aspect of recovery, is taking it one day at a time. Or even taking it in smaller increments too. Like, I can make it till noon without drink. I can make it till dinner without a drink. All that fun stuff. All right. We got these two boards pressed here. Ooh, I gotta glue them up real quick. Or tape them up, I'm sorry. And then we will get them in the press. Let me get this tape going here. So we tape up the ends of this so that when it's in the press, the plies don't shift around. And I'm having some issues with this tape right now, so give me a moment here. I'm gonna go take this to the orbital so that it's easier. But yeah, Sean, that's great advice. You know what? If anybody has some really good sobriety advice that makes them stick with it, put it in the chat while I'm gone. If you say some smart ass shit, you're gonna get kicked. Unless it's funny. Maybe if it's funny, I'll leave it. There we go. Yeah, so there's a lot of excess glue around here, and it was sticking to the side of the glue, making it so I couldn't get that tape off. That was or sticking to the side of the tape roll. Sorry guys, I haven't talked on lives in quite a while here, so forgive my inability to speak correctly. It'll get better as we go. Really excited to get that video out there because Luke absolutely killed it. We skated FDR, we skated Bam's house, we skated this little DIY spot. Really, really cool. And definitely gonna go back. It took me a couple of days to get my legs underneath me, which kind of sucked. But let's see what we got here. Are you shaping boards today? No, I'm not. Sounds awesome. That's a great way to put it, Sean. You'll do it later, like putting it off. That way the urge is not urgent. I like that a lot. That's a really good way to do it. Sometimes tricking our minds is the best way to fight the thing that our mind's trying to trick us with, right? We got a 7-ply on the bottom. Now alignment is extremely important here. The board's not aligned properly in the press, the pressing won't be right. Once we align that first one, second one's pretty easy. Maybe don't hit ceiling. Alright, and we're going to take the upper half of the mold, slide it in there, and we'll raise them up. Now these jacks used to be connected to air. We used to have pneumatic jacks. We just haven't hooked up the compressor through the shop yet when we moved to the shop from Muncie to New Palestine. So boards got to get made, so we're going to raise them up by hand. Almost there. It's pretty well aligned there, and we'll get going. I'm doing all right, farmer. Great to have you here. And don't forget, guys, my page did get monetized. If you like the things you're seeing and want to support, you can buy supers, all that fun stuff. And if you want to support me further, there is a playlist on my channel called Watch This For Me. You'll be boosting my watch hours. I think I'm 300 away from watch page ads. But I'm still going to post that Bam video before I reach it. It is what it is. I'd rather get that out there. Exactly, Sean. That's a great way. That's why I like to. When I was early in my recovery, I dove into skateboarding because it's so exhausting. Just doing things to make it so at the end of the day you're really tired, and like you said, you just end it beat because you're so tired. At the moment, I'm exhausted because of the trip and lack of sleep. But this is the state of mind I wanted to be in early recovery. Whew. Because then you're not bored, you know what I mean? That's one thing that Bam talks about in the interview I told him about, where he was getting shuffled around from rehab to rehab, but it was just filling a boredom. And now skateboarding fills that boredom for him, and I really love that for him. Alright, so what you're going to watch happen here is glue is going to squeeze out between the edge of the veneer. And we are good to go. So yeah, you see that squeeze out right there? Oh, thanks for watching from Mexico, Punk. Yeah, Punk, thanks for watching. I appreciate you. Oh. Always put the same amount of glue, but you just want full glue coverage. When we squeeze it like this, it's gonna squeeze excess out the side. I wouldn't be too worried about him, Sean. I mean, he's sober now. He's sober and he wants to be sober. Every other time that he's gone to rehab or tried to get sober, it's been forced. And I think most addicts in recovery know that forcing someone into recovery when you're not ready for it never works. He talks about how he knew exactly what he was going to do on the 91st day. He didn't want to recover while he was in there, and now he does want to recover. And it took the 8 days in the hole when they put him in jail for him to just think and decide that he never wants to do that again. His wife, Danny, is very, very supportive and aggressive about his recovery. She's helping establish like a routine for him, so he gets up and he has a plan. He goes and takes dogs out, stretches, gets ready for the day, and then goes to a skate spot and tells himself he can't leave until he lands a trick. That's why a lot of people, seen people say like, I've seen that trick before. Well, no shit. He's just trying to land a trick before he leaves the spot because he has to, because that's his personal goal. Plus, he's achieved a hell of a lot in skateboarding, so I don't really think he has anything to prove to us. Yeah, thank you, Sean. Yeah, it's I'll have a video. It's 5 minutes of him talking where he talks about how his mentality when he went into forced rehab was, "What are you gonna do when you get out? Fuck you, I'm gonna drink." And that's literally what he was thinking. And it took him making his own decisions on his own for it to stick and for him to realize that he had a problem and he wanted to work on it. He seems extremely happy. He's going through a lot right now. He's been losing a lot of people close to him recently. But the fact that instead of running to the thing that if addicts in recovery used to run to, he runs to this thing that makes him happy, skateboarding. That makes me happy, because I mean, skateboarding saved my life in the same way, where I would, if I felt bad about something, I'd go drink myself into oblivion so I didn't have to think about it. But then in recovery, when I felt bad about something, I'd just go to the skate park and exhaust myself, and I love it. I think, Sean, and it will help you stop slipping up. Something that, what's really cool is that Bam is surrounded by sober people. Head, one of his friends, he's been there for him through a lot. Head's 20-something years sober. He told me he lost count. We were hanging out at FDR together and talking about how there were people in our lives that would relapse and be afraid to tell us about it because they were afraid to ask for help. And one of the perspectives we got from that was that stop feeling bad about screwing up after the fact. Obviously, don't try to screw up, but if it happens, and you can't dwell on that, because a new sobriety date is always better than one on a tombstone. And we all know what addiction leads to, and addiction leads to death. So, we never want to be caught in the cycle of being embarrassed or ashamed of a relapse, or ashamed of using again when you do have the goal to quit using ultimately. I failed several times early on in my recovery. And I don't believe that relapses are a part of recovery. I believe they happen, but I don't think they are a part of recovery. I think it's a slip up, like you said, but it's something that you can work past and always get things well. Absolutely, Sean. One of the things that I talk about in recovery is that your environment is a very heavy influence on you. So when I got sober, I was very fortunate to have a job where I worked alone. At the time, I was a hardscaper on a solo crew. So I would just show up and build patios all day, but I didn't have anybody to talk to. I didn't have an influence of people that were wanting me to drink. And then when I went to go skate, I would go skate when nobody was there, so I could just exhaust myself and not have influences around me. And I did isolate a bit, but I had a very small, very, very supportive group of people. So it's hard to force yourself to change your environment, especially when you're having fun in the other destructive environment. But at the end of the day, it's always better. Andrew, we are all here for you. I promise. It's hard. It is hard when you don't have somebody sober in your life. But if you try, there's groups. There's even Facebook groups that, I know that sounds silly. Social media is what it is, but there are Facebook groups out there like Punks in Recovery. There's other recovery groups where you can just go and talk to strangers about your problems that all have the same goals, and maybe you never meet these people, and maybe you don't even know who they are, but you get to talk to people about your goals, what you're dealing with. You have this huge network of people that, hey guys, I'm about to slip up, and they're going to reach out and help you. Congratulations, Visionary. It's awesome. I love running into more and more sober people in this community. There we go. Visionary and Andrew. I hope you guys should get to talking. See, there's a lot of people. All you got to do is be public about your sobriety, and you're going to have people flock to you. Good to see you too. Stay in your lane. I'm really glad that helped you, Sean. That's I'm gonna share some things about why I like to talk about sobriety, and that would be because it seems a little selfish, but it does feel to give me purpose, because there's no reason I should have survived all the things that I put in my body, and all the things I drank, and all the horrible things that I did to myself, but I did survive them. So if there's any reason for it, it's to be able to talk about it so that it helps people. And I hope that when you get recovered, while you're in recovery and you're successfully in recovery and you're strong with it, you use that strength to tell your story so that it can help somebody. Because not everyone's going to have the same story. Somebody with no trauma that jumps into these things is not going to have the same perspective as somebody that jumped into these things while they were going through something that the person with no trauma couldn't understand. Lost a lot of friends getting sober because they were part of the reason I wasn't sober. To move forward and be the best version of yourself, you got to be able to let people not on the same journey go. That is so well put, Visionary. Right, Sean? I mean, and that's the thing, is like, it's strange that addiction grabs onto these really, really strong people. The amounts of things that I've done that should have killed me, I mean, it's pretty ridiculous. And whatever those things were that held us back, like if we were drinking, if we were shooting up, if we were skiing every weekend, I mean, it doesn't matter. Whatever we were using was holding back this potential of such strong people and such powerful messages that it just makes me happy when people get the ability to share those things again. And I hope that you get really far into this. The scary part is when you realize it and don't care. That is the scary part. And I do think it's your brain convincing you that you need that thing. So that's when a really good support system is necessary, and there's plenty of paths to recovery. I personally didn't do well in treatment, and I know a lot of people didn't do well in treatment. It took isolation and some really bad things happening to me for me to realize those things. And the same with Bam. Bam said that it took the 8 days in the hole where he had no one to talk to except for himself. And that reflection made him make the realization that he's never doing that again. And I love it. Exactly, Visionary. Everyone is one choice away from being at rock bottom. That is a very, very, very important point. Wow, this just started off with, I wanted to do a live today kind of talking about going out to Bams, and we instead started talking about powerful things. I really love this. In a minute here, I am going to have to get off of here because I've got to unload a drill press, and I hate to end this beautiful conversation. But he is doing really well. There you go, Sean. Yeah, I know we've all faked out of treatment, and that's what I did too. I mean, that, and it made me angry that they were pumping me full of, prescribed drugs that I didn't want, because I was lying to them about how I was feeling, because my brain wasn't being honest with me. That's a hard way to put it. I mean, your brain tricks you because it makes you think that you need that chemical. So you're chasing that feeling. And let's say, like, gabapentin made me feel heavy, kind of like I was drinking. So I told them that thing was fixing me. So they gave me more of that. So I was just shooting myself in the foot in treatment, which is so dumb. Dang it, blank user, I'm so sorry. I am so happy for you staying in your lane. That's a heavy one to be able to quit. I'm proud of you. That's awesome to hear. Congratulations. That's awesome, Visionary. Yeah, see, I don't know if it's like the range of our rock bottom to our height that makes the height so happy, or maybe the height's higher because we started so low. But I'm happy for you. I'm really happy for everybody in this chat. You guys are doing great. And what's cool is I hope these chats get used as like a place to help each other too. Because I know there's someone that came on here and said that they don't have anyone in their lives for this, but we can all be connected somehow. So, and I'm just going to put this thought out there. Obviously, there's no way to message me through YouTube, but if you are struggling with addiction and you want some help, some advice, anything, if you message me on Instagram, that's Stranger Casper, I'd be happy to help you with that. The way that I help people through social media, I try to just not look at your page. I don't want to know who I'm talking to. I just want to know your current situation, what you're dealing with, and I'm going to give you the best advice I can in the moment. You guys are all so rad. This has been a powerful live for me, the things I'm doing, the people in the chat here. You guys are great. I'm gonna hop off of here. If you do need help, never hesitate to reach out. It's Stranger Casper on Instagram. I will be going live again tomorrow. We are getting an order of veneer in the evening, and I'm going to be sorting that veneer, loading the presses here, and there might be boards to shape. I might not. Sam had a surgery recently, so we're going to be playing catch up in a little bit here. Oh yeah, that press is going to be a fun one to move. Thank you guys, and have a great day. Stay safe, stay healthy. Later, guys.